When Halo released in 2001 for the original Xbox, it was an immediate killer app as it began to sell consoles by the thousands because it was new and advanced, making it the perfect game to demonstrate the evolved nature of the first Xbox. It was a phenomenon that combined a beautiful story and a phenomenal gameplay mixed to make the perfect game. And even the graphics for the time were next gen, as many games couldn't handle the good gameplay with the smooth and seamless graphics. Not only was the campaign phenomenal and different compared to FPS games at the time, but the multiplayer, though relying on LAN parties, was a great time with friends and strangers alike. It was seamless fun, which at the time was kind of what all people wanted from games and really all they required, and many saw the campaign as simply an extra addition to the already perfect package that the multiplayer provided. It was a great game, and it held everything people wanted to play, and even today, people will hop on the Master Chief Collection to play Combat Evolved's campaign and even the multiplayer. The concurrent players on Combat Evolved today proves that when a game like Halo is perfected, it can be played for long past what a lot of people will see as its expiration date. But what truly defined Combat Evolved and its fanbase? Why was it so good that it sold hundreds of thousands of consoles and copies? The game itself shows how innovative it was for the first-person shooter formula at the time, and compared to popular FPS games at the time like Unreal Tournament, Half-Life Blue Shift, Alien vs. Predator, and the Tom Clancy games, Combat Evolved sported not only a new take on the genre, but an evolved one. The campaign, though lackluster in some aspects, was a deeper and more intriguing story than that of other FPS games that had a campaign. It had a badass main character, who though not speaking often, was likable and easy to play as. The epicness of being a Spartan and plowing through thousands of aliens was like no other, as well as the phenomenal twist halfway through the campaign that didn't feel out of place and felt kind of unnerving and weird. The game's story irradiates the power of the Master Chief, but allows you to feel weak and vulnerable in levels such as 343 Guilty Spark, where you see enemies fighting for their lives and allies giving up as they don't feel any hope. Master Chief being a cool character that has room to grow and evolve makes for the perfect combination of coolness while allowing the character to evolve and change with the events in the story. Unlike some shooters, rather than having a silent protagonist, they had a two-in-one package deal. The Master Chief, though often silent, talks pretty often, and the AI Cortana that is within the Master Chief's armor provides an outside perspective that feels relatable and allows the story to evolve without the overuse of cutscenes. Cortana herself is not really just a bottomless character or a just dialogue-spitting extra character like a lot of AIs in more modern games are. But she affects and impacts the story in a really important way, and at some points she's even stripped from your armor to make the feeling of hopelessness during levels like 343 Guilty Spark make it even more prevalent. The game itself, rather than give you the answer to everything that happens, lets you figure it out. It allows the player to have a sense of discovery in what is a pretty straightforward story, such as levels like 343 Guilty Spark, where the player wanders into the swamp, finding a downed pelican. This swamp was dark and dreary, and the absence of Cortana allows the environment to take hold over you. As you wander through the swamp, you start to see friendly UNSC tags pop up on your radar in the distance. But you can see them far away. But they're not moving towards you. They run away, almost luring you in. The whole reason you're in the swamp is to locate Captain Keyes, but he's nowhere to be found. When you reach a facility that you don't know what lies in, you come to discover dead Covenant forces and allies who've all been killed fighting something. And then you find that something. The Flood, a parasitic infection who swarms you and uses your allies and enemies' dead bodies as hosts to escape their containment. And this twist, though a little out of place for some people, really isn't too weird. It adds another aspect to the game and the story that a lot of people wouldn't really expect. And levels like these really give you a feel for the world that you've been thrown into, and likable characters like Sergeant Johnson, Captain Keyes, and Echo 419 pulls you in to that world, and partnered with the open-ended yet well-attuned level design, it makes for a combination which even today some games lack. But what about the multiplayer? Does it stack up to the campaign and the multiplayer of other games at the time, like Unreal Tournament? Well, the clear-cut answer is yes. But why is that? When playing Combat Evolved's multiplayer, you see the appeal, even today. It is a fun, medium-paced action that's attuned to fit the available tech of the Xbox at the time. The controls themselves are pretty easy to understand, and makes it even more fun to first play the game, as it has a low entry point, but also a high skill ceiling. The multiplayer was less about having a fast reaction time like other shooters, and less about a higher accuracy, but a lot more about a strategic attunement that the game allows to really shine, with its map design, which allow the most strategic player to win, even when losing in a gun battle. On the smaller maps, finding a good vantage point is key, or finding a spot to sneak behind the enemy. On larger maps, using vehicles with your allies to demolish your enemies and allow your allies on the ground an opening. Vehicles were another huge innovation to the first-person shooter formula, as they were exceedingly rare to see in a shooter, and even rarer to see done well and intricated and perfected to the level of Combat Evolved. They were easy to use, only requiring the joysticks, and could allow several people to mount the vehicles depending on what type of vehicle it was. A Scorpion. And the vehicles almost added like a fourth dimension to the game, allowing for a new type of combat, and it was interesting to see players on the ground face off against a wraith in the sky, or even, though the multiplayer was restricted to LAN parties, the fun game modes, smooth gameplay, and fun game design made for a phenomenal multiplayer that relied truly on strategy and skill, rather than simply having a better reaction time. And the multiplayer and the accompanying campaign made for a perfect killer app that launched the Xbox with a bang, not only launching the console, but also launching Halo into the mainstream. The perfect package that was Combat Evolved was a flurry of fun and intrigue, making it the perfect game to start the series. Alright, bye.